Today, I will be reviewing It 1990 Part 2. And if you haven't watched Part 1 yet, then I highly recommend watching Part 1 before Part 2. Because, of course, one comes before 2. So, yeah. But if you have watched already Part 1, then you already know that I'm just gonna do a Part 2 because I said that in the Part 1 video. Because there is no way I could just do, this movie for, there's no way I could review a whole, 3-hour movie. I already did the first part when the Losers Club were, kids, and now I am doing it with them as adults. So, yeah. Now, I do gotta say, I do like the second part of this, mini-series. I do like the second part of It 1990. Now, of course, we do get lots of cool Pennywise scenes with him just shape-shifting into creepy stuff, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, I do like the second part, even if it does have some slow scenes in it. I still think it is a pretty cool chapter to the 1990 mini-series. So yeah, this is pretty much a quick intro. So let me just jump back in to reviewing for what I've been reviewing before. So let me continue reviewing this movie. Part 2 begins with Bill arriving at the cemetery, apparently, paying his respects of, his dead brother, Georgie. It's a nice moment, because it really shows that Bill Denbrough does really care for his little brother, Georgie. Man, I feel so bad he, died from Pennywise. Oh yeah, speaking of Pennywise, apparently Pennywise is just digging up graves and just making fun of Bill, which is absolutely crazy. Oh yeah, and of course Pennywise reveals that he was digging up 7 graves for, the Losers Club. And of course this grave is already taken because, we know Stanley already died in Part 1. It's also cool we also get to see Pennywise's teeth in this scene. Well, of course Pennywise just has to show off his teeth. Bill arrives at the library and reunites with Mike, which is absolutely nice. But of course Mike says that he has been, in Derry for quite some time. So he decided to, I don't know, bring back Bill's memory with his bike, Silver. We also get this weird montage sequence where Bill and just Mike are having fun just pretending to be children. So okay, I guess. But this montage ends with a creepy note with Pennywise's face, through cards. And now we finally get to see Richie Tozier again. Heck yeah! Oh, and apparently he's mad that they are closing down the theater because he has been there as a child, as I literally was talking about in Part 1. Oh, and they are apparently playing this movie in the theaters. That's pretty weird, I must say. I guess it's just Pennywise pulling tricks on Richie, I guess. Richie's now at the library where we get to see Pennywise holding some newspapers, but apparently Pennywise decides to, use balloons with a bunch of blood literally popping out, which is crazy. And yeah, this is where Pennywise starts to, get a little funnier than scary, but I still think Tim Curry Pennywise is a pretty cool Pennywise. Just wait until you get to, Bill Skarsgård Pennywise. Oh my god, just look at Pennywise. He's just having a fun time already. But of course, Richie decides to leave the library. And now we get to see Ben in this movie. Heck yeah! Oh, but apparently Ben gets to see his, childhood, fear, which is the skeleton. You remember from Part 1, and he looks scary as heck. Pennywise is also saying hello to Ben as well. And of course, Ben gets to see a balloon that says, "Turn back now." Well, you should turn back, but, you came all out here for, to stop Pennywise, so I guess it's pointless to turn back now. Eddie arrives at a pharmacy where we get a flashback from his childhood where the pharmacist tells him that his inhaler was, not any medicine. And apparently Eddie gets to see the pharmacist again literally 30 years later. It turns out the pharmacist grabs Eddie with his, hand. And he says to get out of Derry while you still can, using the Pennywise voice. Well, that is absolutely creepy. Beverly is now having a visit to her, old house. And apparently this old lady named Mrs. Kirsch did say that, Beverly's father, of course, passed away 5 years ago, which is absolutely sad, even if he was abusive in the first film. Apparently Mrs. Kirsch is drinking her tea in a very weird way. Also, her smile is very creepy as well. And can we talk about the teeth? Yeah, this is a creepy sign that you should just get out of there, Beverly. Turns out Beverly's tea has some blood in it, and of course it spills, and then Mrs. Kirsch turns into the creepiest thing I ever seen in my life. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is absolutely creepy. But turns out that Mrs. Kirsch is using, well, Beverly's dad voice and just apparently scaring Beverly to death, which is just creepy. Beverly gets to run out of the house, and then she apparently gets to see Pennywise acting goofy as heck. But turns out Beverly was apparently hallucinating or being crazy, because turns out her old house was just, well, never a thing. Or, well, it was a thing, but apparently it's just abandoned. So, yeah, that's crazy. Oh, cool. We also get to see a yellow balloon as well instead of a red balloon. I guess that's cool for a change. Apparently, we're back to seeing Bill's wife, Audra. Apparently, this guy just telling Audra not to mess up her career or something. Yeah, I don't really know, but apparently we just get a random scene where we get to see Bill's wife, Audra, again. But apparently she is so concerned of what's going on with Bill, she decides to, well, I don't know, call him. And if you're wondering what the heck all of this light is, it's just lightning. That's a little fun fact for you right there. Okay, moving on. We're now at a Chinese restaurant where we get to see the other characters, Ben and Eddie, and of course Bill and Mike, just all reuniting with each other. Then we get to see Rich, who apparently is having a pep talk in the mirror, but eventually he brings up his comedy voice or whatever and greets them. Beverly also joins as well. We now have another dinner scene, which of course that means another montage, just like the bike scene. Which is just absolutely weird. Wait, what the heck? Why is Richie just, pretending he's holding a fish or something? What the heck is going on here? Apparently the camera moves in different angles over and over and over and over and over again. Apparently, Mike and the other Losers Club members are talking about Henry Bowers, that, people didn't believe him, that he saw Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Also, speaking of Henry Bowers, can we see him again in this movie? So yeah, we do get a scene where we get to see Henry Bowers in apparently Juniper Hill, which apparently is like a hospital asylum place. Yeah, I don't really know. So yeah, we do get to see Henry waking up and seeing Pennywise as the moon. And not gonna lie, I do like seeing Pennywise as the moon, because this just looks cool as heck, I gotta be honest. So yeah, we do get to have a fortune cookie scene where we get to see, well, blood coming out of the fortune cookie, and also a cockroach coming out of the fortune cookie. We also get to see, well, an eyeball coming out of the fortune cookie. Same with this, weird-looking crab thing. We also get to see, this, baby duck, which, is a lot going on here. We also get to see the spider thing coming out of the fortune cookie, which looks absolutely creepy. And then the other Losers Club decide to get the heck out of there because everything crazy's going on. The characters are back at the library where, Richie's being as annoying as ever, just, coming up with funny jokes and stuff like that. I mean, I guess it is true. Richie is indeed a comedian. Also, look how goofy he looks. I just don't think I can take him seriously at this point. Also, Eddie looks confused as heck. I mean, I don't blame him. Mike decides to call the relatives of Stanley, and then it's revealed that one of his relatives said that Stanley has, died in the bathtub. And then everybody, all of the losers who are still left, decide, they're just scared and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's pretty sad news that gets revealed. We get a flashback scene where Bill says that he rescued Stan from something creepy, and apparently Stanley went into this creepy house as a kid, and apparently he also got to see a mummy! Spooky! Apparently Eddie is saying to the others that, when him and Stan were, childs, Stan told Eddie that, he saw Pennywise's true form, which, yes, are the deadlights. If you don't know what Pennywise's true form is, if you don't know what Pennywise actually is, he's actually just, a bunch of lights, those deadlights, that were kind of seen in part 1, and you will definitely see the deadlights, later on in this movie, for sure. But yes, the deadlights are the true form of it. What Pennywise really is. And that sounds absolutely interesting, I must say. Mike opens up the fridge and a bunch of balloons come out, including Stan's head, which just apparently makes fun of the Losers Club. I gotta say, the scene is pretty creepy and pretty crazy at the same time, and it's even crazier we get to hear Pennywise's voice coming out of Stanley's head, because of course just Pennywise is just acting crazy around them. The Losers Club decide to escape the library because they do not want to deal with other creepy things, even if, well, wherever they go, lots of creepy things will happen, and Pennywise will not stop. So yeah, they apparently just leave the library and go somewhere else. Henry then gets a visit from his dead friend zombie, like Belch, who apparently is having a conversation with him, and apparently Belch gives Henry a knife, so apparently Henry can escape the asylum place. We also get to see Pennywise, who turns into a dog. Oh yeah, and this random guy who apparently works at the Jennifer Hill Asylum place dies. Probably by, like, Pennywise as a dog just being eaten to death or something. Geesh, these kills are lame, but I still like this miniseries. But just wait till I get to the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise, like I said countless of times, because that's even more crazier. Yeah. The other characters are now at a hotel. And apparently Mike tells the other characters about every 30 years what was going on, like with Derry and the town, and like lots of crazy events happening.
1930, the explosion down at the old ironworks. In 1900, the massacre at Drake's Creek.
So basically what Mike is saying, that every single 30 years some like craziness like event happens in like Derry, and apparently Pennywise is like involved with it. Well, that is just absolutely traumatizing, I must say. Moving on. Audra is now at a gas station in Derry, and apparently the gas station attendant turns into Pennywise. And of course Pennywise is just going to be using the, well, deadlights on Audra.
Don't you want it? Don't you want it?
So yeah, basically Pennywise starts using the deadlights on Audra, but don't worry, she's still alive, but apparently just staring at the deadlights. Apparently we get a scene with Beverly and just Ben just talking about the whole, I don't know, just crazy things going on. But wait a minute, turns out that that's actually not Beverly. Turns out Beverly is actually really Pennywise, which makes Ben very upset. Oh my god, Pennywise, you're crazy. Turns out Mike gets stabbed by Henry Bowers, but don't worry, Mike will be okay, but turns out Henry Bowers will not be okay. Because Henry Bowers dies by being stabbed with a knife, and that's pretty much it for Henry Bowers' character. Turns out Mike is in the hospital, and apparently Mike was down in the sewers 10 years ago just to get the silver bullets or something like that. You know, those things that Beverly used a slingshot on just to try to defeat Pennywise back in, like, the year 1960, which, well, ultimately failed because, well, Pennywise is still alive. So, of course, Mike is not going to be able to go on their own, like, Pennywise adventure to stop him, so he's just going to go rest up in the hospital. The other characters then decide to go hunting, just grabbing gadgets to stop Pennywise. And Richie says to the other characters that they should use a machine gun to stop Pennywise. I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, who doesn't want to see these characters use a machine gun and stop Pennywise? I mean, that would just be the weirdest thing ever. The characters then make their way into the sewers as they all walk, and apparently Bill gets to find Audra's, like, purse or something. And then, of course, he just runs. Oh, and then Bill reunites with the other characters. Yeah, I'm not sure what that scene was all about, but whatever. The characters are now in the sewers, the middle of the sewers, where they were kids and all that fog was just coming up. But apparently we get to see a paper boat, including the zombie Georgie, which is creepy as heck. We also get to see Pennywise's face just being projected on the wall for some weird reason, and apparently Pennywise is just talking to all the characters that it's useless to fight it and that they are not strong enough. We all know Pennywise. We all understand. But, yeah, that's pretty much how the scene goes. The characters then follow the paper boat and then make it deep into the sewers as they find this bone temple door, whatever you want to call it. The characters then make their way into this cool-looking cave place with lots of spiders and Audra's body just hanging there. And then, apparently, Pennywise is now a spider, which looks absolutely creepy as heck. The effect could have looked a little better, but I still feel like the spider looks pretty creepy and cool at the same time. OMG. Beverly uses the silver rocks, but it turns out that fails to kill Pennywise. But apparently Pennywise uses his deadlights to blind the other, characters, including Bill, Ben, and Richie, which is crazy. Beverly goes and tries to find the other silver pieces, but Eddie uses the battery acid, which apparently he remembers from using as a child. Oh no! And then Eddie gets picked up by Spider Pennywise. Eventually, Beverly shoots at the deadlights, which, weakens Pennywise, which drops Eddie. But it's already too late for Eddie because he's been hurt enough by, the spider Pennywise. So, yeah, pretty much Eddie does die, which is absolutely devastating. Man, it sucks he died, but hey, I guess it's to up the stakes. The rest of the characters then run up to stop Pennywise once and for all, and they do that by just running up to him and just pushing him on the ground, which is just absolutely crazy. And basically what they do is they're just, literally beating him up to death. Oh my god, this is just a lot. This is just a lot. But turns out Bill decides to rip out Pennywise's heart, and the others, carry it, which is a pretty big heart, I must say, which is pretty much the death of Pennywise. OMG, this is crazy. Yay, you guys did it, you're heroes now. The other webbed bodies then apparently fall down, since apparently Pennywise is dead. Same with Audra's body as well. We get a scene back at the hospital where Mike says that the nightmare's finally over and that he can finally relax the rest of his life, which is very nice, I must say. Mike then says that, well, Richie has starred in a movie now, and apparently, he's just doing lots of comedy and stuff, which I guess sounds pretty interesting. Mike then says that Beverly and Ben decided to get married or something, which I guess is really nice. Bill and Audra are now getting ready to leave Derry, but the problem is Audra is still passed out from the deadlights, which is still pretty sad, I must say. But for some reason, Audra is now riding a bike with Bill, apparently because Bill just wants her to wake up from the deadlights. And eventually, Audra finally wakes up from the deadlights. Let's go! Finally, Audra and Bill are now happy now. Yay, they made it. Yay. Well, actually, I'm pretty happy for them because they have been through enough trauma. And that's pretty much it for the movie. Wait, what? Why did Pennywise laugh at the end? What does this mean? We may never know. Maybe he's still alive. You may never know. Well, who knows? It can be my guess or your guess, so yeah. But overall, I do think this movie is a pretty cool movie. I do think it is a pretty nice chapter 2. But oh my god, I feel older than I was. I'm still the same age, but seriously, I just feel so exhausted, because not only did I just review one part before, I already did the second part, but, if I did, 1 and 2 parts, that would just sum up just a 3-hour movie, which is just too much. Oh my god, I'm just glad I finally got a chance to review this movie, because let me just tell you, this movie, in part 1, is just crazy as heck. But I'm glad I finally got a chance to review it. And yes, that means I will also review the remake movies, the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise movies. So stay tuned for those movies reviews as well. Those will be even crazier as heck. So, yeah, but this is still pretty crazy, even if Pennywise is goofy as heck. Oh-ha! 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 Yeah, you are so goofy. I know I'm goofy. Because I am always goofy, and you'll float down here. Yes, you will. Aren't you supposed to be in Derry? Yes. Well, how about you go back to Derry? Oh yeah, I shouldn't be here. I should be at Derry. What am I doing here? I'll go back to Derry. I'll see you soon. Yeah, we'll see about that. But overall, I'm glad I finally got a chance to review this miniseries, and I will see you guys in the next movie review. Bye.